Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy highlighting Mitt Romney, saying he would vote for anyone except Donald Trump or Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, interestingly enough, this almost is like a de facto endorsement for a lot of people who have a disdain for Mitt Romney. Now, Vivek on the Twitter, or as 18 people call it, the X, he said, quote, "Not surprising." And then he has a video where the video is from a Twitter person by the name of Go Vivek Go. And it says, quote, "Mitt Romney stating that he would support anybody running in the Republican primary except for Donald Trump or Vivek Ramaswamy, and would turn to support a number of Democrats if either were to get the Republican nominee is just the endorsement Vivek needs," unquote, hashtag rebel scum, with the arrow pointing down to Mitt Romney. And this has gone viral, as the youth might say. Got 2.2 million views and 26,000 likes. One of his most liked comments or posts on Twitter in probably 4 to 8 weeks. This is pretty impressive for the number of likes. Not to brag, but last time I was on Twitter, I got 3 likes for my IT security event. Well, let's be honest, I think they were 2 likes, but nevertheless, they do exist. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and play the video.
Who do you like in the Republican field?
Anybody. I'd be happy to support virtually any one of the Republicans. Maybe not Vivek, but the others that are running would be acceptable to me, and I'd be happy to vote for them. I'd be happy to vote for a number of the Democrats too. I mean, it would be an upgrade from, in my opinion, from Donald Trump and perhaps also from Joe Biden. Look, I like President Biden. I find him a very charming, engaging person. There's some places I agree with him, but most places I disagree with him. I think he's made all sorts of terrible mistakes, but I would like to see someone else run.
Who do you
like? Again, Romney is perhaps one of the most famous rhinos in history. Rhino being a pejorative term known as Republican in name only, because technically he's a Republican, but a lot of the policies and the people he supports they're Democrats. Now, again, actually, interestingly enough, I don't know who is really a fan of Mitt Romney. He did run for president years ago. Obviously, he failed so bad, and famously, Obama beat him. Now, again, we got 2.2 million views and 26,000 likes. You can't help but think most of the comments are going to be overwhelmingly supportive, because Lord knows, I don't think I've ever met someone who loved Mitt Romney. Even when I was in college and Romney was running, I knew people who were voting for him because he's a Republican nominee. And from a business perspective, I believe he owns Bain Capital, which historically, let me see here, has turned around a couple companies, although that's kind of a point of contention with some people because it's private equity and they usually have to trim the companies to decrease the expenses for long-term profitability. Well, let me see here. I wonder if he still owns them. Business career, Mitt Romney, graduated business school in 1975. Who runs Bain Capital? So Bain Capital currently headed by John Conahugan, which I was going to say perhaps one of my worst pronunciations to date. Let's see, Romney's Bain Capital resume. So I mean, from a business perspective, he's had some success. Don't get me wrong. And I was going to say, anyone that can build a business or turn businesses around, I'm definitely going to admire from a certain point, because again, that takes a lot of talent, skill, and you're not always going to succeed, but it does take a certain amount of entrepreneurship to do that, which is why I'm interested. He has an entrepreneurial background, yet he still won't support Vivek, which of all the candidates who are running for the Republican nominee, Vivek is the one who has the most background in entrepreneurship, building up billion-dollar companies. So one would think, well, I guess not too surprised, again, Mitt Romney's a rhino. And again, to think back to college, I know people who voted for him. I don't know of anyone who's ever been excited about voting for him, who's like, I like him because of these policies. I think he's great. Let me know in the comments. It might be the Chris Christie effect, where somehow there are people voting for him, but you never actually meet them. Like, I know people, and it's fascinating to look on Facebook, you see people who love Trump, who love Biden. There are people who love those guys. But like, Mitt Romney, like, really? But nevertheless, let's dive in the comments and see. And I was going to say, as you can tell, I clearly don't have someone doing wardrobe or hair for me because I have to fix my hair every 18 seconds today. As the show grows, though, someday perhaps I'll have someone with a little bit of talent who actually fixes my hair up a little bit. Perhaps. Time shall tell. If you subscribe, it can surely help in the long term. The first comment comes from Mr. Proud Patriot saying, quote, "The anger for Trump is real. Must mean he's doing something right," unquote. Laughy emoji and heart emoji got 206 likes. Adam Kringer says, quote, "This is a huge endorsement. Congrats, Vivek," unquote, getting 773 likes. BT Cosmopolitan? No. BT Cosmonaut. Not great spelling with that one, but nevertheless, this attempted spelling says, quote, "Mitt just gave you a huge boost in the polls," unquote, getting 278 likes. Tangent369 says, quote, "Mitt is very consistent in his support of the deep state," getting 455 likes. The redheaded libertarian who gets an A+ for marketing, she is in fact redheaded in her profile picture and is libertarian. She says, quote, "I can't think of a better endorsement," unquote, getting 484 likes. Elijah says, quote, "How much influence or clout does Mitt have? Absolutely zero," unquote, getting 83 likes. Juan Valverde says, quote, "His family lives in a ranch in Mexico practicing polygamy. Of course he endorses Democrats," unquote, getting 49 likes. Let's see here. And Neo Older says, quote, "Surprised he found someone interested in interviewing him. Yawn." Getting 41 likes. AZ Anderson saying, quote, "The Trump Vivek ticket would really get Mitt Romney's goat. Excellent." Getting 61 likes. Let's see here. A lot of people saying he's beyond relevant. He doesn't matter. Those are getting between 1 and 8 likes. Another one saying Holden Contra says, quote, "That's quite the endorsement," getting 49 likes. Stephen Hardy says, quote, "The only reason people would hate Vivek is because they don't want freedom," unquote, getting 57 likes. TJ Moe says, quote, "Wear it as a badge of honor. If that guy supports you, you've likely sold out the American people," unquote. Got 93 likes. ATX Irish Gal says, quote, "F Mitt. He's a loser, twice presidential candidate," unquote, getting 56 likes. A lot of people saying you're on the right track if Mitt Romney doesn't like you. A lot of people saying it's going to boost Vivek in the polls. Yeah, in terms of percentage of people who are agreeing with Vivek, this is probably one of the most popular ones. Let's see here. High praise in my book. This sums up the uniparty machine. Casey Allen says neocon, getting 4 likes. In reference to Mitt Romney, I would suspect. Thomas says, interesting enough, quote, "Romney became a bitter old man after he lost to Obama. Republican polls showed he was ahead. He blames the Republican Party for his loss and has been undermining it ever since," unquote, getting 6 likes. And given his actions, I don't think it's not out of the realm of possibilities, I'll say that much. So as the youth might say, this certainly went viral, and this is perhaps one of the top well-received posts Vivek has ever done. If I were him, I'd use this in all of his campaign materials. Because again, it's a lot of people are going to see this as interesting enough, as this anti-endorsement is actually a huge positive thing. Because again, show me a Mitt Romney fan. I'm not saying I'd buy that person a drink, but I'd be fascinated to hear you exist. I thought it was a rumor, really, but nevertheless, I do think this will positively impact the polls for Vivek. And again, the real question is, what's going to get him over that hump where he's kind of steady? Nikki Haley's ahead of him, is not all, but in the poll aggregator, she's ahead by about 4 to 8 points. And then DeSantis, he keeps shooting himself in the foot with a 50 cal. Or more realistically, DeSantis keeps shooting himself in the boots or the high heels with the 50 cal, as he's down. He started at 30%, now he's on around 12.6%. So again, Vivek, I think this is going to help him out, and he needs a couple more of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos where you just have more and more people saying, more and more people that historically are not very popular saying that they don't like Vivek, because there is such thing as the de facto endorsement, or an endorsement where it's actually a non-endorsement or anti-endorsement is a good thing, and I think this is one of those instances. Let me know in the comments, have you ever actually seen a Mitt Romney supporter? And if you have, I think we almost need a picture. Like kind of like we have all these ideas of they've seen Yetis and they've seen Sasquatch, but we never see a solid picture of it. I suspect it could be the very same instance. I'm not saying Sasquatch doesn't exist. I'm just saying your evidence is what is really needed. I'd be fascinated to see if there is real evidence. But let me know in the comments. It's fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone again for taking time to tune in today. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give feedback so I know how to improve the channel and make the show better and better so that everyone can have fun. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.